greatly pained Muslim communities around the world. Thank you for not only being here in support, but for being here in solidarity of this pain. Thank you for grieving with us. This grief has a purpose. This grief is a motivator. Tonight, we are not only here to acknowledge that there is a problem and that there has been a problem. We are here to talk about how it became a problem and how we as individuals, we as a community can help solve this problem. Most importantly, we are here to fix it. But this evening is only the beginning. I would like to start off by recognizing Brother Arif and Sister Azra and the rest of the wonderful ISCJ team for their guidance and their help throughout organizing this event. When I first came to Sister Azra over the weekend and said, "Here's what we want to do," she said, "Let's do it. But this will take up your life for the rest of the week." And it did, but it should. We should be spending our time on this, not only a week's worth of time, but our life's worth of time, because the mainstream media doesn't, because mainstream society doesn't, so we're here to fill in the gaps. Let's continue filling in these gaps when we leave here today. Let's continue spreading knowledge. Let's continue fighting hate, because hate is ignorant. Let's continue giving love so that we can discontinue bigotry and the violence that plagues Muslims and other marginalized communities. And yes, this is possible. You make it possible. We will make it possible. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Don't give a big hand.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hello. When I heard about the recent events, I knew that, or we knew, we cannot just wait for someone else to take action when we already know that such things are unacceptable. We not only brought the Muslim community together, but everyone in the interfaith, because recent events like this doesn't just hurt us, it hurts everyone. So I would just like to say thank you everyone for coming out, and this means a lot to both of us. We have the letter writing in the back, which I'm sure some of you have already started, and we have lots of things coming up, so enjoy.
Okay, the president of the ISCJ board, Brother Ashraf, would now like to give an opening statement and welcome all of you guys. Okay, so we're going to start off with a Quran recitation and translation, actually. So would the NME my students like to come up, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العظيم.
O you who believe, seek help in patience and prayer. Truly Allah is with the patient. And say not of those who are killed in the way of Allah, they are dead. Nay, they are living, that you perceive not. And certainly we shall test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives and fruits, but give glad tidings to the patient, who when afflicted with calamity say, truly to Allah we belong, and truly to Him we shall return. They are those who are blessed and will be forgiven from their Lord, and they are those who will receive His mercy, and it is they who are the guided ones. Thank you.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, so now we'd like to welcome Muhammad Ashraf, the president of ISCJ's board.
Assalamu alaikum and peace be upon you. Distinguished guests, clergy, rabbis, and leaders of all faiths, imams, brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Islamic Society of Central Jersey, it's my honor and privilege to invite you, to welcome you to this masjid. The event you all know reminds us a painful incident that happened in New Zealand. We are here to the memory of those who lost their lives on the hands of one wicked person. We can call him a terrorist, we can call him whatever names. But in Islam, we say that if you kill one person, you kill the whole humanity. And if you save one person, you save the humanity. The incidents that happened, it took away the lives of many, many young and not so young people. The terror, the gruesome situation that happened will never be forgotten. We should always remember who lost their lives. But when this happened, there were others. We should not forget that they are their families. And those, some of them, who tried to stop this guy from this gruesome work. We are dedicating this night to remember those who lost their lives and sympathize with their families. And you coming here is a testimony to that you care, you are loving to be together here and to see how we can stop this kind of incidents happening all over. We should condemn it, not only what happened in New Zealand, but any part of the world. Doesn't matter who does it, whether color doesn't mean anything, the religion doesn't mean anything. It's the menace that we have to stop. No words can express and the terror that happened there. We want to express that united by one humanity and by our faiths, different they may be, we must commit ourselves to work together to eradicate bigotry, racism, xenophobia, and hatred in our hearts, homes, and our community. In the end, I would like to thank each and every one of you that please get together. When you go home, you tell your family, to your neighbors, that we have to send this message to those who are committing these crimes, and at the same time, those people who can help us to get around this, to take this menace away, so that the humanity can survive in a good way, in a friendly way, in a better way. And thank you very much for coming here. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll have Imam Shibli and Imam Nada speak.
Get a signal from the Safed Katovic. He said, Imam Mendes is not here. I'm going to use his phone. Oh, what? First of all, allow me to greet all of you with the Islamic greeting, and the meaning of this greeting to say peace and blessing of Allah, our God, your God, be upon you all. We are the children of Adam and Eve, and I have no doubt about it. If someone from the school of Mr. Darwin, we respect that, but Muslims, Christians, Jews, other faces they believe Adam exists, Eve exists, and they have children. Two of their boys, I don't have their names, maybe in the Torah, written in the Bible, but in the Quran there is no name for them. They want to be closer to God, the Creator. One of them was generous, good man, want to contribute, want to help the people. He took nice gift, I don't know what kind of gift, and he introduced to God, and the Quran said, God accept that gift. How? I don't know. The other boy, the opposite way completely, call it miser, sorry to use the word, call it in Arabic bakhil and not the same word. And he tried to give God the same gift, but he chose something very cheap, in the closet 5 years, bring it to the church, to the mosque, the synagogue, cleaning the closet. God will never accept that. The one whose gift was not accepted by God, he went to his brother, not Muslim, Christian, no, not a Jews, Hindu, no. Not Republican and Democratic, no. He went to his own brother by blood and he gave his message. And please take this message seriously. According to the Quran, and Brother Muhammad Ashraf recited a verse from the Quran, he said to his brother, there is no way to deal with you except to kill you. And the translation used the word slave, S-L-A-Y. But his brother, as a kind one, he said, no, if you open your hand to me to kill me, I am not going to bother you at all. I am not going to kill you. But if you do so, you are going to carry my sin as a human being and your sin too. Just think about it, my respect, brothers and sisters in humanity. Let me flip the page to be in the side of the one who does not know and they commit all these crimes. And I say to myself, if they know the benefit they give it to the killers in the day of judgment, they will never do that for them. The question is why? I am finishing. Number one, those 50 people recently, I'm not talking about the synagogue in America or anywhere, the people were killed, suddenly without knowing they're going to be dying in that day. The 50 people who were died as a martyr, they already guarantee in their hand the key of the paradise. We believe in the paradise, we believe in the hellfire. The minute they were killed and their blood started running on inside the mosque, on the carpet, they already guarantee the key of the paradise in their hand, as in Arabic as a shaheed. Do you think the killer, if he knew those people are going to go to the paradise forever and enjoy their life, he will shoot them? I will say no, because he considered their enemy. How is he going to benefit his enemy? And finally, let me give the glad tidings to that killers. He and the similar to him or to her or anybody shed one drop of blood of a human being, that person will abide on the hellfire forever. Not for 1 day or 2 days or 40 days. The killer will be admitted to the hellfire forever. Second thing, God sometimes is happy and sometimes is angry. And the anger of God will be on that person forever too. And allow me to use the word the Quran uses, is the word curse. God will curse the killer forever. And finally, do me a favor. If someone try to encourage you, encourage your kids, encourage your town, encourage your country to take the position of the killer, regardless of what, don't listen to that person. And I will repeat what Brother Muhammad Ashraf, as the President, said. من قتل نفسا فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحيا نفسا فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. If you help a person to survive, you looks like help the entire mankind to survive. And if you destroy a life, you are destroying the life of the entire mankind. Let me pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward all of you. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward those young girls as our leaders who initiate this program with the support of ISCJ, Brother Muhammad Ashraf and Brother Arif Patan and Sister Azra, and all the houses of God, the synagogue, the mosque, the churches. The people have no God to worship what they worship in their houses. All those houses are open for you. Please, when you have invitation, respond. Thank you for coming, and God bless you. Enjoy the night from now till 9 o'clock with the will of Allah. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.
Is Imam Mendez here tonight? Okay, so I would like to call up all of the religious leaders and clergymen, and each one of you, or a few of you, can make a 1-minute statement. So if you would all like to come up.
Dear friends, it is so sad that we are once again meeting under such difficult and stressful circumstances. Our community mourns in solidarity. My name is Cantor Bruce Rockman. I'm from Congregation B'nai Tikva in North Brunswick, member of the Interfaith Council of North and South Brunswick. I've shared a seat at the table with the Imam for nearly 20 years and consider him a close friend. We've shared happy times, many Thanksgivings, and sad times. We join in communal sorrow and outrage over the horrific massacre at the mosques in New Zealand. A house of worship is meant to provide sanctuary for all those who seek community, God, and kindness. The violation of Muslim sacred space is an attack on all faiths, on all of God's creatures. This time, we stand with our Muslim brothers and sisters in their time of deep pain, just as they stood with us after Pittsburgh. We call for an end to hateful ideologies and for the evil predators to be brought to justice. May we live to see the day when war and bloodshed are no more and peace fills the earth as water fills the sea. Why is there so much hate and mistrust in the world? Why do men time after time believe that terrorizing us, people of faith, will make this a better and more just world? Why? If we knew the answers to these questions, would we be able to stem the growth of these disturbing acts of hatred? I believe that we must harmonize with each other while expressing our unique points of view, and our understanding should resound in one magnificent, beautiful voice, the reverberation of peace. Shalom, salam. Can we do this? As the mission of the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom states within their organization, we must all build trust, respect, and relationships within our faith communities. We must overwhelm the world with our acts of kindness. We learn from our tradition in Pirkei Avot, the wisdom of our ancestors. It is not your duty to complete the work. It is not up to you to finish it. But neither are you free to desist from it. We teach these words to our children. We have to live by them. We have to continue to be vigilant every day and build our relationship. We must overwhelm the world with our acts of kindness together. Shalom. The Imam would like me to introduce myself again. I'm Cantor Bruce Rockman, and I'm from Congregation B'nai Tikva in North Brunswick, down the road from here. You know, if you give me more time, I'll start singing.
No, sir. No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. I am the Reverend Karen Johnston. I am the minister at the Unitarian Society in East Brunswick, and I express my gratitude to you and to you sisters for bringing us all together today, for making such a warm welcome for the community, and for being a beacon of light this community is in the greater community. Thank you for the welcome. I say to you that I mourn with you. I affirm that you and that all Muslims are my kin, that this is the understanding I have, and this is the understanding my faith as a Unitarian Universalist has. We understand that there are truths out there from many sources, and that the Quran is one of them that brings light to this world. The Quran says that we humans were made from many tribes. You know this better than I. And the thing I want to affirm to you now is that I believe in a unity that calls and is enriched from diversity, not conformity, and certainly not violence. And I want to say to you today, because I was raised as a white girl to be a white woman in this world, that the violence that was experienced, that was perpetrated in Christchurch, New Zealand, against Muslims, was perpetrated by a white nationalist, a white supremacist, and he did not do it in my name. He did not do it in the name of all white people, and we must always, always condemn violence. And if you are white, we must condemn white supremacy violence. I am, and my faith is enriched by your presence, by our partnerships. And I thank you again. And I thank you two strong women for bringing us together.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rabbi Jacob S. Statler, and it is my pleasure to serve Congregation Kehilat Shalom in Belmead, New Jersey. I have been the rabbi there since July. And I think the first thing that I have to say is that it is horrifying how well I have gotten to know my fellow clergy since July, not through coffee dates, not through gathering for lunches, not gathering to learn together, but at vigils, at times of mourning, that these are the times when we get to know each other. And I pray that we continue to build these relationships beyond these horrifying times. I wanted to share some words that have brought me, that have really struck me in response to these attacks. Raphael Shumanov, who's an organizer with Jews for Racial and Economic Justice in New York, he wrote, "When you kill someone praying, you are killing them at the moment they closed their eyes, turned their back to the door, tuned out every sound, and decided that this will be the moment that they will trust the rest of humanity the most." These kinds of incidents are designed to foment distrust in humanity, and we cannot let that happen. We have to recognize the beauty of humanity and of our shared vision for a better world. And we can't let it be thrown away by acts of terror and hate. I want to just close by offering some words from the statement offered by the Reconstructionist Jewish movement, the movement of which I and my congregation belong. May the one who created us lead us to be better than this. May it be God's will. Shalom Aleichem.
Good evening. My name is Mandeep Singh Arora. I am a congregation member. I'm not an imam or a rabbi or a preacher. I'm just a congregation member, just like many of you are sitting here today. But today I'm representing the Sikh community, and I am a board of trustees and a board of director at the Sikh Sub of New Jersey in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Speak up. I'll say it again. As I said before, I'm not an imam or a rabbi or a preacher. I'm just a congregation member, just like many of you. I am representing today the Sikh American community, and I represent the Sikh Sabha of New Jersey in Lawrenceville. I am a board member as well as a trustee at the Goodwill. just a couple of words. We wanted from the community, we condemn hate, just like all of you. We've had incidents like this happen to our community back in 2012 in Wisconsin, where white supremacists did come into our Goodwill Club and shot, I believe, 10 people were murdered that day, unfortunately. We had recently in Pittsburgh, we had in a synagogue, one of our brothers there, Jewish brothers got murdered. Something happened recently where a bombing occurred in South Carolina in a Black Methodist church. None of this is acceptable, or what happened in New Zealand. None of this is acceptable. Most people, normal folks, will not be thinking in this manner. And as I believe one of the imams said before, if someone is bringing you into that direction, in any direction, any type of right-wing ideology is not right. We are all under one God, and we all believe in that source, regardless of what denomination you come from. And yes, we will have differences, and mostly we have an understanding that we all believe in the same way. We're trying to raise our families, we're trying to do good, and we're trying to give back to humanity and give back for service. So I encourage everyone to keep your heads up. In the Sikh community, we have a concept of Chardi Kala, which is always being in high spirits. Even when you're low, always be in high spirits. Stay in high spirits. Keep praying and keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully we can come together, not in a time of mourning, in other times of joy. You know, I was born in New Jersey, in Trenton, and I used to come up and down Route 1, and I just see your mosque. I've seen it grow over the years. And I always thought, well, maybe one day I'll come and visit. I have friends who do attend services here. But I didn't want to come at this time. I wanted to come during happy times. So let's hope next time when we all meet, we're meeting at happier times. So that's all I can say. Everyone have a great evening, and thank you so much for inviting us for tonight.
My name is Daniel Castleberry. I'm the pastor of Pennington United Methodist Church in Pennington, New Jersey. And I bring you greetings from my congregation, words of love and solidarity and faithfulness to our common traditions, because we are all members of the same family of God and we all worship the same God. And it is important that we stand together, we pray together, we express our love and concern for each other. And in this time, there is so much hateful rhetoric in the mainstream of this nation and other nations in Europe and other places. And we as people of faith cannot be silent, because silence is complicity. We need to take every opportunity we have to make a difference, to show that this violence, this terror is not the way of God. It is counter to what God teaches us, because God is love and God wants us to love each other and not be concerned so much about our differences, but to embrace our common humanity and to find ways to build bridges and to bring people together and to share in every way possible. And I'm so honored to be here tonight, to be with you and to represent my congregation. And we prayed on Sunday morning at our service of worship for all of the Muslims around the world, but particularly for those in New Zealand in the wake of this horrible, horrible tragedy. So may we continue our work together. And I've been honored to work with several members of the mosque here, the people who belong to the Islamic Center of Central Jersey. And as one of the earlier speakers said, diversity in our lives always helps us grow, and it enhances who we are. And for those who want to be tribal and they want to be separate, and the things like this white nationalism and white supremacy, those are all bad choices that people make. And so we have to testify to the world that we will be people of peace, and we will stand together, and we will not let evil overcome the will of God.
Imam Shibli started his word by word Adam and Eve. You remember that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Rabbi Adam came all the way from Princeton, and now is the time for prayer. He's going to say a few words, then after Adam finished, we'll go to the prayer and continue the meeting till 8:30, 9 o'clock with the will of God.
So my words of prayer tonight come from the Jewish tradition, and I know an important word in our tradition is also important in the Islamic tradition. For us, the word is shalom, salam. Shalom means peace, but shalom means completeness and wholeness. And the only way our world will ever have peace, will ever have shalom, is when everything is right again. When violence, like we've witnessed, comes to an end. Violence in a mosque, or in a synagogue, or in a church, or in any house of worship must never happen again. But we also need to feel shalom internally, that internal peace. Like we feel tonight being here, we feel in this community, and that's my prayer, like the prayers I shared with my congregation on Saturday, and every day since, and that we all have shalom or salam. We all can be at peace, we all can feel complete, we can all feel honored to be with each other like we are tonight.
I am 6.2 without the turban. I can see all the way back, and many beautiful uniform as a police, fire department. Can you give them a big hand, please? Especially the people coming from Kendall Park, they came early. Give them another hand, please. Thank God. Give us only less than between 5 to 7 minutes only to break for our sunset prayer. We'll call for Adhan, then we'll go directly to the prayer. But there is a request from Brother Safed Katovich. We like to designate this area to my right side, from your right side, for the Muslim women and girl who like to pray behind the man. All our guests, you can remain seated if you wish, or you can go back to the table, write your letter if you miss the written letters, and we collect all the letters, give it to Khadija and Amina, and those are the organizers for tonight, and God bless all of you. May I request Bilal or any Muazzin to come forward. Brother Muhammad Nusrat will make the Adhan, and our guests, if you can have a seat, we appreciate that, to observe the prayer, and God bless you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Today, we will humanize the victims of the New Zealand mosque shootings by telling their stories. This was inspired by a Twitter thread by someone named Khalid Beydoun. We would like to reject the narrative that most mainstream media put out, and instead of humanizing the perpetrator, instead of talking about the perpetrator, we will focus on the victims instead.
Assalamu alaikum once again. Dawood Nabi, a grandfather, he stood at the door ready to pray and welcome the terrorists inside. "Come in, brother," were his last words. He was the first to be slain as he tried to save someone else from the bullet. He helped to build the very masjid he fell in, one of 51 victims.
Say her name, our apartment, heroin. She and her husband left Bangladesh and settled in New Zealand in 1994. Years ago, her husband grew ill and had to use a wheelchair. On Friday, as a terrorist aimed at her husband, Era jumped in front of the bullets. He lived. She died. One of 51.
Say his name. Mus'ab Ibrahim, the youngest. Here's what his older brother Sajid said about him. He was only 3 years old. He could have been our son, our brother, our nephew. Look in his eyes. He has so much to live for. What happened in Christ Church will forever change me, change us. We have to fight Islamophobia for the sake of our future, the future of our young. Mus'ab didn't get the chance to see his life through. We must make sure that children his age and younger have that chance. 1 of 51.
Say his name, Harun Mahmood, a Pakistani PhD candidate, a future doctor. He left his home country to pursue an education at Christ Church. He leaves 2 children with their own futures to pursue. He himself has no future because he is 1 of 51.
Say her name, Linda Armstrong. She embraced Islam many years ago. She was born in West Auckland and moved to Christ Church to be near her grandchildren and be part of its growing Muslim community. She was loved by so many, 1 of 51.
Say his name, Abdul Hamid. He was a native of Indonesia. He was known at the Christ Church Mosque for his kindness. Hamid never missed a Friday prayer, 1 of 51.
Say his name, Abdus Samad. The following is what his best friend wrote about him. I grew up with Dr. Abdus Samad in a remote village in Bangladesh that still lacks running water. For 10 years, we sat together in class, shared stories, studied and played together. After graduating, he taught at Bangladesh Agricultural University. He later pursued PhD and migrated to New Zealand in 2013. He was a professor at Lincoln University in Christchurch. There, he also volunteered as a muezzin appointed to recite the call to prayer at Elmore Mosque, 1 of 51.
Say his name, Syed Milmi. He just turned 14 years old. He was in high school. His father remembers that when he was younger, Syed carried around a sign that said, "Everyone loves everyone." Syed attended the mosque every Friday with his mother and his friends. March 15th was his last Friday, 1 of 51.
Say their names, Khalid and Hamza Mustafa, refugees. They fled ISIS in war-torn Syria with the rest of their family to pursue a new life in New Zealand. Khalid was shot dead while praying. His 15-year-old son Hamza did not make it out either. Khalid loved animals. Hamza was the apple of his mother's eye. Khalid is survived by a wife and 3 children. Hamza is survived by a mother and 3 siblings, husband and son, father and brother, 2 of 51.
Say his name, Amjad Hamid. He was a doctor and beloved member of the Christ Church Muslim community. His colleagues rave about how kind he was. He dedicated himself to helping poor patients. His family came from Palestine. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children, 1 of 51.
Say her name, Ansi Alibaba, 25 years young. She left India to pursue a degree in agribusiness management at Lincoln University. She completed her degree. She was scheduled to walk with her classmates and have her family there. So close to graduating from years to hard work, but she is 1 of 51.
So we will continue the victim profiles after we have a few speakers. Can I please call up Sister Ezra Bay to read Congresswoman Bonnie Watson's statement?
Assalamu alaikum, greetings of peace. I'd like to start by thanking everyone for taking the time out to be here. I know Khadija in the beginning mentioned that we met over the weekend, and we happened to meet actually on Saturday afternoon, and she's like, you know, let's do something for our community here. We saw that other mosques and Islamic centers throughout New Jersey were having these vigils, these gatherings, these prayers and remembrances. And South Brunswick is known for its diversity, its love, and it's such a great community. So just wanted to say, I'm so proud of your efforts of bringing us all here together. Thank you to everyone for being here. Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman was scheduled to be here. Unfortunately, she was unable to, but she did want to send her regards, and here is the following statement. On Friday, a disgusting act of terror in New Zealand shocked the world. Since then, communities everywhere have stood up together as a reminder that love, tolerance, and faith are capable of overcoming such hatred and bigotry. And I am proud to see our community stand with them. Terrorism does not have a race or country of origin. It is a manifestation of hate that we must fight whenever and wherever it rears its head. I am proud to stand in solidarity with those affected in New Zealand, with ISCJ, and against all forms of hate and terror. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call up Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, Member Heather.
Assalamu alaikum, my sisters and brothers, all who are here today. Thank you to Amina and Khadijah for pulling together this very important and beautiful show of solidarity. Thank you to Heba and Azra for inviting me to speak tonight on behalf of the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, and to Cheryl Olitsky and Atia Aftab for allowing me to speak in their stead, although no one can take their place, with words from our collective hearts, hopefully bringing some light to illuminate the darkness of despair. The Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, which started right here, I learned 10 minutes ago, from my sister Heba, is a movement 3,000 Muslim and Jewish women and teenage girls strong in our chapters, over 7,000 including our conference, trips, and social media, and growing. As the only organization of its kind in the US and Canada, we come together to build bridges that turn into real relationships and communities of love and care. To say that our hearts are broken is an understatement. When one of us hurts, we are all hurting, and our hearts break over and over and over again. It is one of the greatest blessings of my life to have sisters from all across the country, as well as right here in New Jersey, some of whom are here with us tonight. It was one of my Muslim sisters who first told me the news about Pittsburgh that fateful Saturday in October. My Muslim sisters were among the first to show up, to reach out, to offer support and comfort and solidarity. I know I speak for my Jewish sisters when I say that we will never forget it. I will never forget it. It is now, unfortunately, our turn to pick up that mantle for my Jewish sisters and brothers, to show you, our Muslim sisters and brothers, all of you, our communities and the world, that we are here for you and with you. We mourn and grieve and pray for the souls of the 51 Muslims who were senselessly and tragically killed in an act of terrorism and Islamophobia at two mosques Masjid Al-Noor, and Dar Al-Hijra in Christchurch, New Zealand. But my Muslim sisters and brothers know that we are not just here today or this week. We are here by your side for the long haul. We are sad and angry, yes, but our thoughts and prayers are not enough. We will not sit back and let hate prevail. The sisterhood is waging a peaceful battle against hate, and we demand change. We demand that our government officials at all levels condemn these hateful acts. We demand that they call out hate and enact and enforce laws that recognize hate crimes as crimes of the highest order. We demand to be safe in our places of worship, in our schools and communities, and in the world in general. We demand that our children grow up in a world that truly sees them, values them, loves them, and honors our common humanity. The Sisterhood of Salam Shalom will not stop until this becomes our lived reality. We stand together as sisters and brothers, as Muslims and Jews, as one. We are proof that love is stronger than hate. On behalf of the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, thank you again for having me here tonight and allowing me to share our condolences, comfort, and support. Most importantly, know that you have our commitment that we will not stop until love prevails. As someone said this weekend, there is no them, only us. Salam, shalom, and peace to us all. Amin and amen.